Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. We are just hours away from the Trump administration potentially imposing its 50% tariff on a wide range of Canadian goods. It's unclear if negotiations are going right down to the wire. The Prime Minister and the U.S. President did speak this afternoon, but we still don't know the outcome of that call. As Saloni Bugra reports, leaders across the country, including here in the North, are watching that deadline closely.
The clock is ticking for Canadian officials to hammer out a deal with their American counterparts. That's to avoid the new 50% U.S. tariffs on some $30 billion in Canadian goods. That's due to take effect just after midnight. And even though the North does not export a lot to the States, leaders say they're bracing for impact.
Bad for the Americans who are actually paying those costs, and they're bad for the Canadians who also see increased costs when things go back and forth across the border. So we're already feeling the impact of the initial tariffs in terms of the cost of bringing equipment to the territory for things like mining operations, obviously the impact on diamonds.
The additional duties will impact electronics, dairy, alcohol, and wood. Part of Canada's focus is to get Trump to also lower existing tariffs on industrial products like steel, aluminium, vehicles, and lumber. That could require concessions. The federal government has told provinces and territories to be ready to put U.S. alcohol back on shelves.
We're willing to do that, but it has to be a good deal, and we're going to do it in conjunction with the federal government and with the other provinces and territories.
Simpson says that concession is conditional.
It's going to have some very significant relief for those section-specific tariffs. So on steel, lumber, aluminum, autos, those types of things. And without that, I don't expect that the provinces would be on board.
Yukon Premier Curry Dixon told CBC he's awaiting results of the negotiations to figure out next steps, and that Yukon is not impacted by tariffs as much as other jurisdictions. Federal data shows nearly 90% of all exports from the territory are to the States, but those are exempt from tariffs. Nunavut's premier says he's not commenting until more details come out. Business leaders in the North say Northerners won't be immune to the impact.
It does mean that it's more difficult to bid on projects. It's more difficult to have certainty around your budgets, around what there is for consumer confidence and investor confidence. It really does have an effect in the very short term, but also in the longer term.
Hansen says she's confident that Canada is prepared to respond.
We've been able to weather the storm before, and I think we're going to be able to do it again.
Prime Minister Mark Carney said talks have been intense and delicate and that Canada won't negotiate in public. He says Canada is prepared for all outcomes. Saloni Bugra, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Leaders in the Northwest Territories and Canada want to build big in the north, but longer fire seasons, larger fires, and melting permafrost all risk shrinking the window of opportunity for major infrastructure projects in the territory. The federal government told CBC News in July that wildfires in the territory were so out of control, it had to stop work on the Mackenzie Valley Highway. Now, one climate scientist says interruptions like that are likely to continue. The CBC's Devin Tredinnick reports.
It's starting to seem like this is just happening every year.
Zef Dedalov has concerns about the state of wildfire season in the Northwest Territories. He says it makes construction season harder, and it's not just a problem in the summer.
In the far north, you have the additional problem of the season for ice roads is much shorter. So just moving materials around you're getting less time to do that. And then if you're dodging wildfires during the construction season, it's going to create a challenge for sure.
In recent summers, wildfires have forced parts of the territory to evacuate. Meanwhile, the Mackenzie Valley Highway has been talked about for decades, and with the federal government moving ahead with its build, it promises to lower the cost of living. But with the changing climate, its future remains unclear.
And it's, Mother Nature, and so we take it step by step, and so that's where working with the territorial government and contractors to keep it on budget and on schedule.
But we can't really control a lot of times what happens with respect to natural disasters like wildfires.
As of Tuesday, there are more than 200 active fires in the Northwest Territories. Most of them the territorial government considers out of control. A recent study from the World Weather Attribution also says climate change is making wildfires in the NWT more likely. CBC News asked for an interview with the territory's own Environment Minister, Jay McDonald, but his office said he was traveling. Instead, they provided a written statement. It says it's not possible to predict the location, extent, and severity of future wildfires, but they're expected to continue. McDonald's statement does not mention the Mackenzie Valley Highway specifically, but it does say that wildfires can delay projects and supply chains. The highway is one of 3 major projects in the Northwest Territories, officially considered one of the federal government's major projects, and the territory's premier says he hopes to see construction begin next summer. Devin Trudinick, CBC News, Yellowknife.
The best road is the one that gets built. That's the message today from the NWT's finance minister about the proposed route for the Arctic Economic and Security Corridor, a route that looks pretty different from one that was mapped out earlier. The 400-kilometre all-season road would connect the NWT and Nunavut. The Yellowknives Dene First Nation and Clichon government decided on a corridor in the NWT where that new road should be built. This route is further west from previous plans by the territorial government to build through a large, resource-rich area of the territory. But according to the NWT government, that doesn't mean it'll provide fewer benefits.
I've looked at about 30 different roads that cross over the entire stretch of minerals from far east, more west than this one, and everything in between. And when we paused what was then the Lockhart All-Season Road about a year or so ago, it was at the request of these 2 nations coming forward and saying, let us find a path that's actually going to get a road. The best road, the most economical road, the most prosperous road is going to be the road that gets built. And that means we have to find a path that balances all of the mineralogy in that whole region, which is quite wide, against a core value of the North, which is land stewardship, and that includes caribou. So I would say we're starting now from a path where we have a proposed corridor being put forward by 2 nations that they're saying they get behind and can support, that's running through this region that is vastly underexplored, underserviced, underutilized, and it's going to be the foundation for finding a road that actually gets built. And so in that sense, there's not any sacrifices, actually. We're in a better place than we've ever been to get this moving forward.
Meanwhile, an expert on the Arctic says the national economic significance of this corridor is uncertain. Ken Coates says there's a lot of potential, but Canada isn't very good at opening up northern regions. Coates calls the Arctic Economic and Security Corridor a field of dreams kind of operation. But he says it's a dream driven by Indigenous people in the Canadian North, which is incredibly significant.
Do not underestimate how important this is to the country as a whole. For some very strange reasons, the country has managed to set it up so that Indigenous people are the bad guys in Canada's development trajectory. We're going to build a pipeline, but First Nations are going to oppose it. We're going to open up some new mines, but we're going to see First Nations getting in the way. That's sort of the background story that sort of emerged, and it's really unfortunate because Indigenous folks have made it very clear that as long as they have a substantial level of input and some approval of the process, that they're more than happy to get involved with these projects. This is actually the first major example of that coming forward, where you actually have a public government, the Northwest Territories, Indigenous groups, the Clicho and others along that corridor, essentially saying, this is what we want on our territory. We're prepared to see it go ahead, subject to all the other sort of more detailed studies. So the national message is that Indigenous folks are behind some of these major projects. Indigenous people are looking for sort of both regional and national prosperity, and that they're capable of working with public governments, in this case, Northwest Territories, but obviously with the government of Canada as well. And do not underestimate the significance of that. The fact that Indigenous folks are taking the lead, are in front of other sort of processes, moving faster than the government of Canada, and actually sort of establishing a foundation for future development.
Coates says the proposed route gives the NWT a much more solid foundation to plan for the next decade or more. The project is not shovel-ready, though. Next, the Clichon government and Yellowknives Dene First Nation will be asking their members, as well as neighbouring Indigenous governments and peoples, for their opinions. The Wakazi Land and Water Board in the Northwest Territories is threatening to pull the water license for the company cleaning up the Ekati diamond mine. The board sent a letter to the territorial government last week demanding answers about unauthorized dumping. The CBC's Niles Nemeth reports.
The Wakazi Land and Water Board says the territorial government's inspector approved dumping something called emulsion into a tailings pond at the former Ekati diamond mine site. Emulsion is a liquid commonly used for blasting at mine sites. The mine's previous owner, Burgundy Diamond Mines, had been dumping the emulsion there since June of 2025. But in late July this year, the Water Board told the company handling the closure to stop that practice. The Ekati mine is in receivership, with wind down now being run by PricewaterhouseCoopers. The Water Board is demanding answers from the territorial government about why their inspector allowed the dumping to continue. The letter warns that non-compliance by PricewaterhouseCoopers could result in the suspension of the water license for Ekati mine. That would essentially halt all work. The board has called for a meeting with the government by the end of this week and threatens a possible public hearing to, quote, better carry out any of its land or water management responsibilities. In a written response to CBC, the Northwest Territories Environment and Climate Change Minister Jay McDonald acknowledged the letter, but said it was too soon to comment further before meeting with the board and the company. Neither PricewaterhouseCoopers nor the board responded to requests for comment before deadline. Niles Nemeth, CBC News, Yellowknife.
The new administrator for the hamlet of Enterprise Northwest Territories says some residents are frustrated with another sudden leadership change. This is the second time in 2 years that the hamlet has been put under administration.
For the residents, I think there was a bit of frustration. They wanted to see their council continue rebuilding Enterprise. I'll continue on in some of the momentum they have been building.
The change comes after 2 councillors resigned in July, leaving the hamlet with just 2 active councillors, and that's not enough to pass motions under the hamlet's legislation. The Northwest Territories government dissolved Enterprise Local Council last week and appointed Burke as an administrator for 45 days. The hamlet will hold another election within that time. Burke says anyone interested in running for council should reach out. RCMP and the Yukon Coroner's Service say they found the remains of a missing German man. Dominic Bandorski was reported missing on June 11th. The 31-year-old was on a 10-day solo canoe trip on the Teslin River in early June. Last month, his parents told CBC News they had given up hope that their son would be found alive. Police say they responded to a report of human remains on August 6th. They were found on the Yukon River, 23 kilometers from where it meets with the Teslin River. RCMP say forensic identification confirmed the remains belonged to Bandorski on Monday. NWT Fire is paying special attention to 2 fires near Fort Resolution. Both are about 20 kilometers away from the NWT community. Officials have set up an incident command center in Fort Resolution. NWT Fire says crews are pounding the fires with helicopter bucketing and strengthening control lines, and that people in the community are not under threat. Across the country, officials say there are currently more than 580 active wildfires, including 31 that are out of control. More than 4 million hectares have already burned. The Minister for Indigenous Services addressed the impact on Indigenous communities in BC and Ontario.
Communities in British Columbia continue to face significant wildfire activity in the southern interior and also on Vancouver Island. In northwestern Ontario, many First Nations have spent weeks responding to one of the largest wildfires and wildfire seasons in the province's history, and also facing dangerous conditions, evacuations, and uncertainty.
Wildfires in northwestern Ontario have caused significant damage and forced the evacuation of a number of communities, including First Nations. BC's Fraser Canyon and Okanagan Valley have been dealing with a combination of heat and below normal precipitation. Several parts of the country have also seen prolonged hot and dry conditions, which have shaped this year's wildfire season. Forecasts show above average temperatures continuing for much of Canada through September. The wildfire evacuation order has now been lifted for much of Summerland, BC. The community of 12,000 was forced to flee earlier this month after an explosive fire threatened homes. Many sought safety in Penticton, BC. A local initiative there has been giving evacuees a way to cope with their stress and trauma. Tiffany Goodwin explains.
At this comfort center for evacuees, art is an escape. The paint hits the canvas, each stroke helping kids stay present in the moment, away from the horrors of the Bald Range wildfire.
So is that the bird that's flying now?
The Penticton and District Community Arts Councils providing outreach to evacuees, offering art as an outlet for kids and adults.
We believe in the value of art and how it can bring comfort and occupy those that are waiting in a time of crisis.
When Stephanie Lines, a poet, was forced to leave her home, she turned to what she knew best.
I am split open, smoldering, in wildfires of what I thought I knew. Was my home the house I left, or was it the couch I slept on last night?
The poem, a reflection of what was,
or the woods that were my refuge before they burned,
and is to come.
I really think of the land and how altered it will be, how altered it is already from the fires.
Heidi Abbott is an art therapist and is volunteering her time to help evacuees.
It gives a lot of people an opportunity to just sit and not have to talk about things. They can just give their nervous system a break, and they're trying all kinds of things, different things.
Part of being in limbo is the not knowing, but it's also not knowing what to do with yourself.
The initiative praised by Summerland artists who also had to be evacuated.
The practice of art really is about how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our world. And that's why it's been so helpful for kids and families when they're offering these workshops.
Each piece of art, a step forward to help process and heal, as art works when words sometimes fail.
It's just such a light in all this.
Tiffany Goodwin, CBC News, Penticton.
It's a small token to help you through big, difficult feelings. For 20 years, the Yukon Hospice Society in Whitehorse has been handing out fabric hearts to people who are grieving or just going through a hard time. Each colorful token carries a story about the artist's lost loved one. The hospice calls them Feely Hearts. And now, as Alexa Mackay tells us, the supply is running low.
So then I just cut it. And then you have the front and back to the heart.
Myra Isles sewed thousands of fabric hearts since her mom died 6 years ago. Her materials carry a hidden meaning.
I took the material. I was never really sure what I was going to do with it. Some of the material had been passed to my mother from my grandmother, so there was a bit of emotion attached to it. And so I was waiting for a special project to come along.
That special project became the Yukon Hospice's Feely Hearts. Volunteers sew hearts for the hospice to give away. Program coordinator Deb Higgins says visitors are always emotionally moved by them.
It is a tangible reminder that they're not alone, that they can grieve in their own way. And then for people who are wanting to support someone, it's such a simple thing to be able to offer. You know, a handmade, comforting item. You know, we see so often, and everyone struggles, I think, with knowing what to say when someone's lost a loved one.
Janice Tim Botos is a retired professor from Concordia University. She says Feely Hearts are an example of creative art therapy.
Art therapy is all about, making meaning of things, but also simply making things. The power to create something that comes out of your imagination because you're interested in the materials that are around you.
Higgins says there are roughly 200 Feely Hearts left in stock, but that number is too low when the hospice hands out thousands per year. She says anyone volunteering to sew even just one heart would be helpful.
Isles still makes Feely Hearts for the hospice, but she can't thread the needle alone. She says she hopes more volunteers will join and that sharing gratitude through the project is important to her.
When I imagine someone taking a heart that I created, I'm hoping that it gives them peace, but it also gives them memory, good memories, memories that will carry them forward. And that it gives them relief from that intense pain we feel when grieving.
Isles says Feely hearts are easy to make. Volunteers can bring them to the Hospice Society on Jarvis Street. Alexa Mackay, CBC News, Whitehorse. Hand-stitched tapestries representing Northern women are celebrating their 50th anniversary. Nearly 3,000 people across the Yukon volunteered to weave them. The tapestries then hung for years in the members' lounge of the Legislative Assembly, and now they're being restored. As the lead artist reunites with the tapestries for the first time after half a century, she's calling for their legacy to continue. Hyungjong Kim has the story.
Wow, can hardly believe it. Somebody had told me they had faded, but no, they look quite great.
Eve McBride was a young artist in 1975. She lived in Whitehorse. She was commissioned for a major art project to celebrate International Women's Year alongside her sister Julie Alvis. The tapestries are large, each 7 by 13 feet. They decorate the wall of the new Yukon government building when it opened in the late 70s. After more than 6,000 hours of needlepoint handwork by almost 3,000 volunteers across the Yukon, these wall hangings were born as a symbol of the strength and endurance of Northern women.
I felt very moved and very proud. I did what I had hoped to do, and that was establish women's authority, women's creativity, women's productivity, women's enterprise, maternity, all of those kinds of things.
When McBride asked to visit the artwork this year, she learned the tapestries had been taken down.
I kind of freaked because I thought these are works of art, their legacy.
You can see here, this is where the tapestries were hung underneath the skylights there.
It turns out the wall of the members' lounge needed to be repaired. To protect them, this June, the tapestries were removed. It was a good chance to restore the tapestries, but the conservation work is taking a long time.
So the screen goes on top of the tapestry, and then we'll just vacuum over top of it, pull out any of the loose dust or fibers.
Be sure that all the fibers are safe. Well, thank you so much, because I think they deserve it.
We'll see how it goes, but it's going to be many, many hours.
And the question remains, where and when will the tapestries return? The clerk of the Legislative Assembly says the tapestries won't be hidden away.
And definitely I think that the tapestries are incredible works of art and deserve to be seen and appreciated. So I'm happy that they're being conserved.
Yukon's Department of Tourism and Culture says the plan is to return them to their original location and to hold a celebratory event next spring on the 50th anniversary of their installation. But there have been discussions about more suitable public location for their display, and that's what McBride and the community hope for.
I would love to see them hanging in an art gallery as part of a permanent collection or somewhere else more visible. I just really hope that people will stop and think about how important the role of women is in developing a community, particularly a community as wild and remote and inhospitable as the Yukon is.
The Legislative Assembly says if ever the tapestries need to be moved out of the members' lounge, every effort would be made to make sure the works of art to go somewhere people can see them, and that any decision will be communicated to the public. Hyunjung Kim, CBC News, Whitehorse. A 12-year-old rapper hit the stage at Nunavut's largest music festival last week.
Hey, everywhere I go, my friends follow me everywhere I go.
That's Simi Sakyaguk, also known as Inuk Kid, performing for the first time at Akpik Jam. He started rapping when he was just 6 years old with his brother. Sakyaguk's first time on stage went well. He even signed autographs after, and now he's already looking back fondly on his experience.
Akpik Jam reacted to me, and write my name in the 2026 Akpik Jam. and I say, wow, and I liked it.
With his first performance under his belt, he says he wants to release new music in the future. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.